Changes. Life is full of changes. There are changes that make us happy. And there are changes that make us feel sad. There are changes that happen very fast. And some changes are much more slow. Some changes we find easy. And some changes are hard. Changes can be big. Changes can be small. But whether big, small, easy, hard, fast, slow, happy or sad, changes happen to us all.
Hi there everyone, it's Sally from the ICE team again. I hope you're having a lovely week and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Well, I wonder if you can guess what we'll be thinking about today. Yeah, you got it. We're going to be thinking about changes. Changes are a big part of life. And if you look at your life or the life of anyone that you know, you'll have seen changes there. Especially at the moment, with everything going on in the world, all of us are experiencing change. So it's important for us to think about it. So just for this moment, why don't you take a moment and think, what changes have I seen in my life over the last year? Maybe some of those changes have been really big. Maybe some of those changes have been quite small. Maybe some of those changes have been really easy to adapt to, and maybe some of those changes have been hard. Change affects us all. And in times of change, we often ask questions. And some people might ask questions of God. They might ask, God, why do things change? And we might ask, God, where are you in times of change? Well, when Christians have big questions, we like to look at the Bible, because that's the place where God speaks to us. And so why don't we take a moment to see what God says about change?
Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1 to 8. There is a time for everything, and everything on earth has its special season. There is a time to be born, and a time to die. There is a time to plant, and a time to pull up plants. There is a time to kill, and a time to heal. There is a time to destroy, and a time to build. There is a time to cry, and a time to laugh. There is a time to be sad, and a time to dance. There is a time to throw away stones, and a time to gather them. There is a time to hug, and a time not to hug. There is a time to look for something, and a time to stop looking for it. There is a time to keep things, and a time to throw things away. There is a time to tear things apart and a time to sew things together. There is a time to be silent and a time to speak. There is a time to love and a time to hate. There is a time for war and a time for peace.
So, this passage can be quite a challenging one. We don't like the idea of change. When times are good, we don't want them to end. We don't want them to be over. And when times are hard, we might be scared that any changes will just make things worse, or we might not be able to see beyond the situation and to see that things can change. But this passage tells us something about the way that God made change. He made it to be part of the natural world. And we know that, don't we? We see changes all around us. We see the seasons change. We see things grow. We see things die. We see it get cold, and then things start to grow again. And we see changes in our own lives as well. You will not always be a child. You will grow. You'll grow on the outside in your body, and you will grow on the inside. Your personality will change and grow as you learn things and you meet more people. Change is a natural part of life. And Christians believe that God can use each of our changes to help us learn new things. In the good times, we can learn thankfulness. We can learn to cherish each moment He's given us and to celebrate them. And in the hard times, well, we can learn trust. We can learn to ask for help. We might learn hard lessons about ourselves that help us to change and grow into stronger, kinder people. It's also great to know in the hard times that those times will change too. Just like everything else changes, a difficult situation will not last forever. So that can be a real encouragement if you're going through a difficult change at the moment. So we've learned about why things change, that God created the world to change. It's a natural part of life. We learn things in each different season of life. So where is God in the changes? Well, just like we learned 2 weeks ago when we learned that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever, Christians believe that God doesn't change. And so He's always there and willing to help us out in the changes we're going through. And He doesn't give up. So, I've got a thought for you to reflect on as we end our time together. Are you going through a time of change? How are you feeling about that change? Why don't you talk to someone you trust about the changes? If there's a really good change you're going through, why don't you celebrate with someone you care about all the good things that you can find? And if you're going through a hard time, why don't you talk to someone you trust and share your worries and the things on your mind? And maybe you might want to pray about those changes too. Christians believe we can always talk to God, whether times are good, whether times are difficult, because He never changes. So that's the end of our time together today. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. But for now, bye from me.